Good afternoon, or your time of day or night, and welcome to Glue Wednesday. This is Sporty King. Look, if you're going to be coming in live before 1 o'clock, don't worry, you didn't miss anything. It's my choice to always go on at least 5 minutes before my broadcast to give Facebook a chance to do what they call build the audience. If this is your first time on Glue Wednesday, and I believe that there will be someone's because I've talked to some people, I created Glue Wednesday about 3 years ago. And so I created it based on the fact that so often we hear people say that Wednesday is hump day because it used to be from old school. You work Monday to Friday and there was the weekends. We didn't even think about flex time. You either work Monday to Friday or the weekends. So excuse me, Wednesday was called hump day because it was the middle of the week. Well, I say, because of my word sensitivity and liking to just put a different spin on things, that it doesn't matter. Wednesday is not only the middle of a 5-day week, but it's the middle of a traditional 7-day week. So it's the day that keeps the week beginning and the week end together. Thus, it's the glue. And therefore, that's why I created Glue Wednesday, because Wednesday is the day that keeps us together. So it's not about humping. We don't have to get over. We have to glue. We have to keep it together. And then I took it to another level and I made it my acronym. And that is GLUE is GLUE. God's love undoes everything. So that's the history of Glue Wednesday. But here's also why I come on early, because then I get to do my shout outs. Because Wednesday is my interactive day. If you keep up with me on my live broadcast, I do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday is my short 1 to 2 minute inspirational message called the MMM, the Monday Morning Moment. Friday is Gift Friday, GIFT, God is for Today, where I'll read one of my original poems and then gift it to you by giving you the link to my site where you can download your own colorful copy. And today is Glue Wednesday, where I have a nice interactive conversation. I have a prepared message, but I get to talk to you in the thread. So get my shout outs first up. Boom, zoom, 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 Facebook Gazette. and so Zoom, she calls me Zoom Zoom, but look at that. The Z is her nickname. And it's because her name is Zettine, right? My sister, but is her that was a tough nickname, right? People say Z because they can't say Zettine. How many years has she's gone to? See, look, there go Deborah saying, "Hey Z," right? But how many people say Z because they can't say Zettine, and because she gets mad when they say Zeitin and Zitten and all of those things that we did growing up. As you see, my birth name is what's on my Facebook page. It's Rispodi, and so many people say Rice, but the ones that kill me are the ones that say Rhapsody, and I'm like, where's the H and where's the. So anyway, name sensitivity is a wonderful thing in our family. And then here's Deb. I know I'm here. I said that this is my longtime friend. Man, we go back years, Deb. And so, she said she has sent me an email saying if I can overcome my CRS and remember what time you get on. And CRS, for those who don't know, is can't remember stuff. And so, and we all get CRS, and you don't have to be old to get it. I used to speak at 5 senior citizen centers a month when I was in Chicago. That was when I created my program called the Golden Brick Road. And I always told my seniors, I say, don't let anybody tell you that you're getting senile. Tell them you're exercising your right to forget. Bam. So that's a CRS. Okay. And then here comes Haas. Yeah, Haas, we haven't seen you in a while. Great to see you back on. Yay. Yay. We got less than a minute for today's message, actually. But Haas Jose is back there. And then this is another thing, by the way, with Deborah, love you sport. You know what? This is, again, the things that we have to learn in our lives. Now, Rispodi is my birth name. Sporty is my nickname. But my friends from way back, they can call me Sport. I actually almost got into a fight, but it wasn't really a fight. It wasn't going to be. It was just a clear statement years ago, back in my 20s, when this guy, I got introduced to him, and so he said, "Well, yeah, hi, how you doing, Sport?" I said, "No, it's Sporty." And now his name was Duke, right? And he said, how you doing, Sport? I said, "No, it's Sporty." And he said, "Oh, well, what's the big deal?" I said, "You know what? No big deal. You got it, Dookie." And then he looked at me and he said, "I hear you, Sporty. Okay. Yeah, don't nick my nickname." But my friends who go way back, They nick my nickname, and I'm okay with that. But I won't allow somebody to do it when I first meet them. And so that's important, y'all. You have to control what you allow people to call you. Right now, we're in Black History Month, and I had a wonderful post from somebody else's page, and I shared it to mine about a college professor who disallowed his class from using the term slaves to using the term enslaved people as he was teaching his history class. And just that change in how they depicted what people went through changes the empathy, and it changes how you learn. So it's from a page of my good friend and mentor, Tracy Brown, and her page is called What's Mine to Do? And it's a page that talks about what is mine to do? What do I need to do to combat the injustices of racism and injustice? And so it was a great page, and just that little switch in language makes a huge difference. So thanks again, Deb, and even I can say Deb instead of Deborah. But that's what old friendships do. And then here's Tony's on too, and I know we're a minute past starting the message, but we are actually into the message already, because just as I talk about how important it is to choose what people call you, I'm always going to talk to you about legacy, and I'm always going to talk to you about choosing your messengers carefully. So that's in there today. And so what's happening, Tony? Welcome back. Yeah. Oh God, yes, junior high school, me and Deb. Yeah. 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 And the way we grew up in New York, in Harlem, we grew up in different projects. I was in Grant Projects. He was in Manhattanville. So our elementary schools were different, but then junior high is when you start to cross the streets and go and meet other people. All right. I thought I was clicking on Vic. It went up. Look at Vic calling me Sparky. Now I know that better be a typo. I'll come across this screen and slap you. I ain't say you get to mess my nickname up. Yeah, good to see you, though, Vic. Good to see you. All right. And that's that. So now, Vic, yeah, see, StreamYard has a tape delay. So that's why I didn't see Vic's comment early. And plus, I'm looking at the camera, but Zet caught it right away. And then look at, Hush. No, Hush. Yeah, Hush, but you spelled my name right, my brother. You don't want me to write V-I-K, right? Okay. But anyway, y'all, that's the fun we have here on Glue Wednesday, and this is what we're going to get ourselves back to doing, is recognizing that GLUE, God's love, undoes everything. Not that it tears it apart, but that what is torn apart, he will pull it back together. And you know what? You can get stuff torn apart over and over, y'all, and it keeps getting put back together. Don't question the strength of the glue. Okay, recognize that it gets put back together, and sometimes as things get put back together, they're not supposed to have a permanent fit. Don't you see there are different types of glue depending on what you're going to stick it to? So God, don't decide, well, God didn't really fix this for me. He fixed it the way it needed to be fixed, because maybe sometimes you just need something to have a temporary fix so that it can expand. See, it's not always broken. Sometimes it's expanding. Okay. So it's a vocabulary is very important. What we're doing is continuing what I call the GAS series, and that's the Glue Alphabet series. And so, I call them my affirmations, acronyms that are affirmations, where I like to take the word, and instead of just making a word for each letter, give it some meaning. So we're calling this, putting in the GAS series, the Glue Alphabet series. We're going to put our foot on the gas and make sure that we drive home a great point every week. But you know what? Not just every day, but like my mother used to say, every moment. Man, you got to recognize that God is putting your life together every moment. So there's always something to be thankful for. So what I do with the Glue Alphabet series is each week I feature the next letter in the alphabet according to words suggested by last week's viewers. So this week, our message will feature the letter E. All right, because last week was the letter D. So now what I do is people will put their word in the thread, and then they become my co-author. So as we feature the letter E this week, here are my co-authors. Roger Carroll gave me effusive. Zet gave me energetic. Carolyn gave me excellent. Vivian gave me enlightening. Deborah gave me emulate. and Ramona gave me expand and endurance. Okay. So those are the words that you're going to be looking for. But this is what is so cool. I love to also to give a literary lesson. And I got a literary lesson from my spiritual brother, Pastor Wyman Winbush. You see, because for years, I've used this premise of gas where you give a word for each letter. And I've used this premise where I would call it my creative sharing or my creative formula. I call it making a word bank, and then whatever you were going to write, whether it's a poem, a resume, a letter, you give those words that go with the letter. So all the E's, you're going to be looking for the letter E in my message today. You're going to hear it, but more importantly, if I were putting it as I was putting it together, the letter E kept coming up even as I wasn't looking for the letter E, but I was so busy, I was making sure I got these words into the message. And I have always called that my creative formula. Well, Pastor Weinbush told me that there's actually a principle called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. That's what it is. It's the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. And the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon is the phenomenon where something you recently learned suddenly appears everywhere. See, even there's an E in that, everywhere. It's also called frequency bias or illusion. And it's because it's the seeming appearance of a newly learned or paid attention to concept in unexpected places. So sure enough, you're going to see the E. Well, you won't see it because I'm not going to post every time I come up with an E word, but I ran into a lot of E's in today's message beyond the 7 from my co-authors. So those words are all in there. Meanwhile, as you enjoy the message, your senses have already been alerted to listen for these words as well as for E words. So that's a practice that you want to develop, knowing that it's similar to when you attend a conference, a meeting, or a class, when you know what you're looking for certain information or confirmation of why you're attending. And so when you have that attentiveness about what you're looking for, you will usually find it. Let me take a minute and see what I got here in the comments, okay? But hey, Tamika, I told you there's somebody new on here, and I'm giving her a shout out right now, but I hope she can stay on because I got her in my message today. This is one of my kids from the Boys and Girls Club of Chicago. Love you, Tamika. Thank you. And then, Vic, but you didn't give me excellent. You didn't give me... Yeah, see, excellent got in there, but you didn't give it to me last week. I don't just put in a word... because I know that is Vic's word. He clicked excellent on all the posts. But yeah, if you want next week, spoiler alert, and at any time during the message, next week's letter obviously is going to be the letter F. So if you've got a word that begins with the letter F and you want it to be in the message next week, then you would just put that word in the thread and I'll work it in there. All right. Okay. So anyway, let's see. Okay. So, but first, one of the things I love about my co-authors, that's that I put that up again because my co-authors, they help me stretch to learn as well. You see, I had to actually look up Roger Carroll's word effusive because I didn't know how to use it in a sentence. I knew the word, but it wouldn't come to me. So I looked it up, and it's in expressing feelings of gratitude, pleasure, or approval in an unrestrained or heartfelt manner. And in a sentence, he was given an effusive welcome. So I thank you for making me feel like that sentence applies to our welcoming one another into our spirits and onto our screen. Thank you for your effusive welcome, which walks us right into today's message of everybody. Today's message is called Everybody. And just as I've enjoyed creating the acronym LIFE, life, lessons intended for everybody, I'm reminded of one of my favorite books, which is the Celestine Prophecy. It was given to me as a gift from my speaking mentors, Robert and Rande Gedaliah, years ago. And I remember that it was on a Labor Day weekend. I don't remember the year, but it was a Labor Day weekend. And because I was so engulfed in that book, I read it in one sitting. And you see, the basic premise, the primary message in the book was that everyone you meet has a message for you. Everyone you meet has a message for you. And that message can be positive or negative. And that's why everybody is our message today. All right. So everyone you meet has a message for you. And you just have to learn to choose your paths to follow. Which ones to expand and who to emulate, while knowing that you are also being chosen as a messenger. And your care for someone behind you encourages you to want to be a part of a domino effect of beauty. Now, I consider myself resolute in believing that I have chosen each right path for where I was in my life cycle and my mentality at the time. Because, see, I seek to live forward without regret of what has happened in my past. I seek to live forward without regret of what has happened in my past. Now, do I wish I had done some things differently? In retrospect, yes. In regret, no. And what do I mean by that? There are times that I wish I had had kids, but I don't regret not having had any. Instead, I learned to walk the effusive path that says uncle. And not just to my maternal nephews and nieces, but to the many young lives that I've been blessed to positively impact. Last week, one of my kids, Eric Booker, posted, and he said, it's Black History Month. Please meet Sporty King. And he put, Sporty was one of the coolest people I've met growing up at the Boys and Girls Club of Chicago. He was always a pleasure. It was always a pleasure when he came to the Boys and Girls Club because he mentored us and taught us about public speaking. Always had great advice and would kill you on the ping pong table. And he would rap. That was right. Because you know what? And I laughed. I told him, I'm glad you remember that because I didn't believe in, you know how some people will go easy on them and kids. No, I beat them when I played them in ping pong. I didn't go easy on them because they're a kid. No, you want to get on the court with a star, they're not gonna back down on you. So when I played ping pong with them, I would try to beat them so that when they beat me, and some of them beat me, I didn't win every game. That's why Eric remembered that. When he beat me, they could enjoy the victory that much more. Okay, let me take a break and just say hi in the thing there because Tanya's back with us. Hey Tanya, welcome back. Good to see you again. And then Tamika, yes, my brother from another. See, Tamika knows Eric, and remember, there's a time lapse. In what I'm broadcasting there, not just a literary lesson, but a tech lesson. StreamYard is a great source that you can use to broadcast your messages, your live broadcast onto Facebook, or I don't think it links to LinkedIn, and I know it doesn't link to Zoom, but that's what I'm using right now. And it's just, like I said, it's just a tape delay between when you type a comment and when I see it actually. And so that's why every now and then I'll stop to go back so that I don't have to, I can say, okay, what did I recently say that applies to? See, Deborah, that's not CRS. You know, that's continually recognizing something or consciously recognizing something, a different need for CRS. Okay. But anyway, so Eric, and then he put, thank you, Sporty, for everything, and that was, again, such a blessing. But then this is what happened. 13 former members, 2 staff members, and 2 parents also posted their thanks. That's what Eric said. There were 13 former members, 2 staff members, and 2 parents also posted their thanks. So what a blessing. And that's what I decided to do. I want to show you some of the things that they posted. So one posted, yes, he did. Definitely was great. Those public speaking classes definitely helped a sister out. And another one posted, great mentor. All right. And then one posted, honestly, I did a lot of things growing up, but this was one skill and class that stuck and moved on with me into adulthood. You made us mad confident. And I bet you don't remember half the people you helped, LOL. I promise you that I got the confidence to speak even with presentations. My man, you did that. And I laughed because I sent her back a message saying, actually, I would win that bet. Not that where she said, I bet you don't remember half the people you blessed. I said, I'd win that bet because I do remember half. But I go back to the pictures and that helps me remember all. And this, don't you realize that that's the part of your life? You've been a blessing to someone that you may not necessarily get to see or get thanks from them, not because they are not appreciative of what you've done, but because they may have lost contact with you, haven't had a chance, just don't know, then didn't know, you didn't have the resource, not online, whatever. Okay. So you are being thanks. And that's why I'm posting these, because these are also to me just a blessing of getting my flowers while I can smell them. Okay. So that, oh, look at that, Tamika. You welcome. That's my girl. That's my girl. All right, Tamika. I still got you coming up. Spoiler alert. All right. So that's another thing though. But there's a right there again. There's another blessing that you get to have. You're welcome, man. You know how big those two words are. Even though it's an act. What you call it? Not acronym, but contraction. You are welcome. You are welcome. But so that's huge. We don't all get to say thank you or be thanks. Here's another comment someone wrote. So much love. Great role model. Thank you for your encouragement and all you used to do to push not only myself, but others. Absolutely amazing. You deserve the recognition. And so again, let's look at also at that flashback that I'm having with this is, remember now, these are teenagers or less, because I was volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club, and I started doing that I was 33 when I started doing that. So the oldest one in these comments, at the time, Eric was probably 12, 13. I don't know. Well, I hadn't thought about that, but I'm twice these people's age. I'm saying that to say that these are comments I'm getting from people that are not in their 30s. And that's why I say you never know who you've blessed, but know that you've blessed someone. Remember I said earlier that my message always includes the fact that we have to choose our messengers carefully and recognize that we are being carefully chosen as a messenger. You have had some impact on someone. So that's why it's important to know that how important you are. And that's the everybody part of it. Everybody has some type of impact. And and that's why I also said with the Celestine Prophecy, it says everyone has a message for you, positive or negative, but you've got a message for somebody else. Is your message positive or negative? That's what you've got to know. Take a break to thank my Virgo sister for dropping in. I love your upbeat and optimistic optimism. That's it. That's my Virgo sister from when I worked, when I was on contract with the Chicago Department on Aging, where, with working with and I call them seasoned citizens instead of senior citizens, because all of us are seasoned with a little something different that makes the stew taste even better. It's when we start to come together and mix what we've got. That's when we find out what we've got. And then we find out, okay, whose seasoning is working the best right now? Who needs to take a little bit off and who needs to put a little bit more on? Isn't that what life is all about? It's just that give and take. So that becomes the key. And back to home, girl. What's up, Carol? Good to see you. Yep. Home. The grand projects is in the house. All right. Okay. So that's so that was another comment that I got. Here's another one where someone with one member was answering this one, and she said, "Yeah, I know for a fact we were some ticking bombs. He used to get us right together." Yeah, okay, and that was the thing, And so what I did, because I keep in touch with them, I don't just let them throw these comments. I wrote her back. She said, "Yeah, I know for a fact that we were some ticking bombs, and he used to get us right together." Man, them young girls, especially the young girls, and I'm gonna say it, especially the young girls, they used to try me. And so this is what I wrote back to her. Yeah, I did a lot of laughing inside as y'all wrestled with growing up and testing me. And that's really the truth, and so that's why I'm always so stuck to our young people, because this is what they do. It's like their job is to test the adults to see how far they can get. I remember one year where my public speaking class, because then I started to separate them by age once we got it going. And I had a group of 10 years old, and there was about 6 of them in there. And so I used to always tell, and I just now thought of this, I used to always tell them, you know what, I don't raise my voice. Talk to them, I speak in a soft voice. And so they would, the first week they giving me a hard time. Second week they giving me a hard time. Third week I said, okay, quiet, shut up. And you know what they did? You said you don't raise your voice. That was all their focus was on for the first 2 weeks, was to get me to raise my voice. After that, they never stepped out of line again. We had a wonderful, because the classes were 8 weeks long. We had a wonderful 8 weeks, and we had a wonderful first 2 weeks. But they just didn't pay attention all the time because they were constantly trying to get me to yell at them. Once I did it, they won their battle. They were like, "Okay, good, let's go." What a great lesson you can get from the kids. All right. I thought Carol, I couldn't think of where Carol was, because I thought her last post said she was on her way home. So she's still in Mexico. Okay, cool. All right. All right. So that's the key. But remember, I get a lot of laughing inside. My mother used to say, "I tried them same tricks, honey." That's what she used to say to kids. And she said it to us too. And you have. So, you know what? One cliche I want to take out of your vocabulary. I don't know where you got that from. I don't know where they got that from. Come on, they got it from you. Or they got it from your surroundings. They got it from their friends. Come on, where'd you get it from? I know it, and it's an innocent thing to say, but I'm word sensitive. And as far as I'm concerned, if I say that, I don't know where you got it from, I'm almost sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. You have to, and then, because then the next line I want to say, "Look, I tried them same things." Well, make up your mind. You don't know where I got it from, or you used to be my age. You have to be clear with kids, depending on their age, and you don't know what's going on in their lives at home. So you have to be clear with kids. I'm doing my one shout out because my girl just came in there. What's up, Sylvia? And Linda, I knew that was a typo. You hear me correct it when I was reading it? What's up, Sylvia? Good to see you. I'm one of my Toastmaster mates. All right. So remember that, you can, laugh inside as you enjoy watching kids develop. So one more thing. Let's see. Okay. So now here comes my shout out, spoiler alert, because then, those are the things I got from the kids at the club. But then I also got another one of my kids, Tamika Boyce. Tamika sent me an inbox message that she was now working at a Boys and Girls Club. And she said that it's totally different. She said it's totally different. It's not like the way the kids were at the King Club. And so I responded to her. I said, number one, congratulations, but no, it's not different. It's like the way kids are on this day. As they go through things in their lives, they'll exhibit different sides of themselves. If you look for Tamika in them, look for all sides of Tamika. See, you respond to different people in different ways. Control how they respond to you. Take your time. And I won't be responding too fast after this one because I got a lot on my plate. So don't you sit there and be on Facebook either. They're watching. You're someone's messenger. Congratulations and blessings. And that's the shout out I told Tamika I was going to give her. But again, look at the message. Again, she said, "Oh God, these kids," because she's in a new position. And we're talking last week, y'all. She just started working at the Boys and Girls Club. She didn't leave her roots. See, that's the blessing. And so they're not like the way the kids used to be. They're not. So that's not, so let's get that out of our mind. They're not like the way they were. Their options are different. Technology has changed a lot of things in our lives. And so, so we've got to, instead of looking for the way things were, let's look at the way things are. And let's be the person that we can slow down and recognize. That's why I said, Tamika, don't just look for, if you're going to look for you in them, because, yes, you were a good kid. I did. And I never had any problem with Tamika. You're just as cuddly as she could be, and just a warm, open friendship. She was very mature. And we had a great relationship. Eric was that same way. Different people that posted. I didn't have a lot of problem kids at the Boys and Girls Club. Remember, in fact, the class I just told you about, they weren't really acting up. They just wanted to win their little battle of getting me to raise my voice. I mean, I had a ball. But my point is, what I said to Tamika, don't just look for, if you're going to look for if you're going to look for Tamika and the kids, look for all sides of Tamika, because there were sides that I didn't see of her. She didn't get along with everybody in the club, and you won't get along with everybody in your life. So as you look at your relationships and you're dealing with kids, if you're looking for yourself, look for all parts of yourself, and that will help you with your patience. Because then you'll say, you know what? Yeah, I wasn't always this way. In fact, I met a woman yesterday, and we had a Zoom call from a networking group we're on, and out of context, she said something, and I just said to her, I said, well, I'm not. I said, I'm who I am now. I said, I wasn't always this person. And so that's what and I recognize that, and I appreciate it. I was not always this wonderful, and as Linda said, optimistic and and effervescence. Yeah, I've pretty much been optimistic and effervescent, but I was also a pain in the ass sometimes. I've been a jerk. All of us have been all of these things. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's an angel. And that, like Vic said, everybody's making typos. All right. But let me just go down some things. Everybody, they changed it, for the better. That's right. Because everybody has changed. And if you look at, all things work for the good of God. So therefore, the changes have actually been for the better, because the environment does change. The environment needs guidance, meaning that your environment, your support system needs to guide you, but it needs to be guided as to how to guide you. And see, so that becomes the key, is who you surround yourself with will make a difference. It goes back to what I said about choosing your messengers carefully and recognize that you're being chosen as a messenger. I never mind repeating that, so to the point where maybe you repeat it with me so that you can hear it, and maybe you'll pass it along, because we need to make sure that everybody really gets that and understand it. You'll never find you and anyone else. Nope. Once your mold is made, it's broken. There is only one you. And even though my mother used to say, yeah, you're unique, just like everybody else. It was a joke, but it's the truth. There is only one you. So how are you going to show up? How are you going to show up? That becomes one of the keys. And then see that, look at that, Deb. You got an E, you got else in there. There's an E word. All right. All right. Okay. And then Zed, thanks for guidance growing up. Yeah. And even, we had a great relationship with our mother, but we had a great support system. A lot of her friends were cool. Vic and I know from, playing softball and, with Mr. Welch and all the people that we did different types of sports, and Stone Gym and Riverside Church. Okay. I'm taking y'all back. All right. But, all of these different things that we had going on in our lives, we have to be real. And this is why this is one of the reasons that I did my volunteer work in Chicago at the Boys and Girls Club, because one Boys and Girls Club took all of those things that we had in New York, that Stone Gym, that Riverside Church, that St. Mary's after school program. They didn't have the same options. And so, a lot more was under one roof. And that's, again, what I was saying to Tamika. It's different. The kids are not really different. They've got different options. All right. So great. All right. And then great respect for our elders. Yeah. And we had respect for our elders. Why? Based on how they demanded respect. Because didn't we have some elders that we didn't respect? Didn't we have some people that we knew how we spoke to them differently? That's why I said, what did I say to Tamika? You control, it's streaming right across the bottom. You control how people respond to you. based on your actions and who you are. So yeah, you have to have respect for your elders. And see, Deb, you on the roll. You got another word with an E. See, that's the beta Meinhof phenomenon. But that's the key. You control how people respond to you. So if you're being disrespected, well, either the person is just being disrespectful, but in 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, you have to teach people how to treat you and help them see why you should be respected. So I just put that up there one more time. The message I sent to Mika, because then I said to that, I sent to this joke at the end too, and that is, don't just sit there and be on Facebook. See, she's dealing with kids now. Okay, check your messages, get out and deal with the kids. Don't stop the message. I laugh and joke with Tamika, love her to death. And then we even went back because she had sent that message to me last week. I checked up on her today to see how she was doing, and she told me that she's doing all right. Okay. Well, we got, you get respect if you give it. You get respect if you give it. We always hear people say you got to give some to get some. All right. We always respect our elders when we're growing up. Yep. We used to say Mr. is Miss, but guess what? That was not so much us respecting the elders as much as, again, that circle that we were guided in. Some people's parents didn't teach them that. See, so I know, we don't need to get too caught up and decide, oh yeah, old school parents were tougher. No, not all of them were. I know my mother and Metchi, Haas's mother, they didn't allow us to not say Mr. or Mrs. The funny thing is Hank, and I said Hank because Hank Welch, that was tough. I had to learn that I could call him Hank, and my mother had to approve it. Whereas, most people had to call him Mr. Welch, they were taught that. But since he coached us, and he was very involved with the guys and making sure that we stayed busy. So we got to know to call him Hank. Okay. But yeah, we were taught to say Mr. and Mrs. depending on your parents. And Miss Tingling. No, you didn't put her in there, Deb. Oh my God, we used to. Okay, I ain't gonna go there. I'm not gonna be an adolescent, but that's why I say I wasn't always such a nice guy, and so some of my people know that. But I was a class clown, and I gave Miss Tingling fits. All right, but as I talked about in last week's message, I had some teachers in my past that I'm still in touch with on Facebook, and that I thank them. Don't you have a teacher who you gave fits that you wish now you could thank them for what they did? Man, we got to thank and bless our educators. And that takes me right back to Tamika's comment again. And that, the kids today, you don't know what they're dealing with. So let's applaud and help our educators. There was another post that's on my feed from somebody I don't know, and she's a teacher. And she talked about how, don't just let your kids sit in front of the Zoom screen now that they have to homeschool. You have to be still involved with them. So it goes back to what we're saying about the guidance in our surroundings. There's a whole new dynamic, y'all, and we have to come forward to make it work. This is the future. So we have to start making it work the best way we know how. My first time checking in caught your attention. Thank you. Welcome, Daphne. Well, thank you. And now the key becomes, because you are going to catch people's attention. You are going to catch people's attention. But what was the Celestine Prophecy's message? Everybody has a message for you. The option is positive or negative. And even the Bible has false prophets. So let's not act like negativity is this great invention of our century. There's always been negativity. There's always been false messengers. That's why it goes back to what Deb said. Only you can be you. Who are you? Who are you? What message are you sending off? Because what Zed said, what you give, you will receive. Not always, but you should. All right. So Haas, true indeed. Okay. Our time was a special time. Yeah. And every moment that you spend with somebody, if you got to be in that moment. And that's why I was saying to Tamika also, don't be on your Facebook talking to me when you should be taking care of the kids. And I'm not beating up Tamika, by the way. She didn't do that, but keep giving advice, y'all. Keep giving advice, and helping people grow in what they're doing. All right. So every moment has to be special. When I'm in with you, when you're having a conversation, you have to be in the moment with that person. Don't be talking to them and doing this. Now true. You might be. That doesn't mean that you're totally not paying attention. That you're doing something at the same time. But don't be so engrossed in that phone that you're not connected to that person that you're having the conversation with. A lot of little things that we got to look at in our lives. And I heard some teacher talk. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I hope you heard me blessing the teacher. Are you an educator, Daphne? You throwing in some teachers' names. Okay, I'm coming down to you. Okay, I ain't mad at you. All right, what you got? Oh, okay. See, this is a blessing. Yes, let's throw some teachers' names in there. These are people, and Miss Jackson, yeah, and became Miss Clear, right? Because she got married in 125. Okay, yeah. See, so we've got some educators that went through a lot with us. And now as adults, we can look back and see it as care. But a lot of times when we were in it, we didn't like it. Now we still got some that we look back and we still say, that teacher wasn't a good teacher. That's all right. I ain't saying they all angels, but let's recognize that we can't thank them all. And that's why now what we recognize that we can't be thanked by everyone we've helped. So you got to know that you've made a positive contribution. You've got to be that person in the Celestine Prophecy that when someone met you and they got your message, it was a positive message. As a speaker, I've been in my speaking business 26 years now. And I always tell people, I said, the most important thing for me is when I walk off that stage, I know that I delivered the right message. I want to make sure I heard what I was saying. So I don't practice what I preach what I practice. And I want to make sure that I heard what God had me come to deliver, because I don't know who I'm going to reach that day. Haven't you been somewhere and you spoke and someone said, oh man, you were speaking to me? Or haven't you heard a speaker or a preacher or someone and you say, man, they talking to me? But after the assembly was over, the class had to leave. So they didn't get a chance to come up and say thank you, because I'm going through that right now. Today I posted a message on my site about suicide prevention awareness and talking about how important it is, how we have to be careful and recognize that we can't see all the signs of suicide. We can, and so now there's one of the terms is called survival guilt, where someone says, "Man, I wish I had noticed that." And that's why you can't be looking at that cell phone too much in a conversation. Sometimes somebody needs you to be paying attention to them, be in that moment, right, Vic? Be in that moment in their life, because they may be talking to you as you, the person that's going to help them, make them change their mind. But they have to make that decision. So survivor's guilt is tough, because you've got to recognize that, because you say, oh man, what could I have done to make them change their mind about taking their lives? Nothing. They have to make that decision, but the decision is made through your spirit. So yeah, Miss Jackson. Hey, what's up, Katie? My Marines friend. Yeah, okay, man. Okay, just happened to see this on live in a brief toddler break. Okay, well, you being an educator with the toddler break. Okay, grandson, I believe. All right, but thank you. And what Katie does with our Marines is outstanding and phenomenal. You're in an educational spot in a lot of different paces. What's going on, Alyssa? Yeah, just was on your page the other day. Yeah, thank you. And doing a lot down in Florida, bringing different entrepreneurs to the forefront to help people see what they're doing in their business. That's still an educator. That's still making a connection, opening an avenue for somebody else. I'm going to get all of you. Miss Francis in the 4th grade. Okay. Once Upon a Still. All right. Now I don't know what Once Upon a Still is. So, but Miss France, we getting some teach educator names there. Tuning in from Tampa. I knew in Florida. Absolutely. Whatever I was talking about. Y'all know it's a time delay, and I got a lot of comments. Y'all talkative today. I ain't mad at you, Vic. Junior high school 43. Science teacher in my heart through the class. Was that that was either, how about Mr. Alexander or possibly Mr. Foot, Victor? Think about those, okay? Mr. Alexander or Mr. Foot, because I had Mr. Alexander in 7th grade. I had Mr. Foot in the 8th grade, and they were both science teachers. I don't remember who my science teacher. Wait a minute. Mr. Foot was social studies. I had Miss Tingeling for science, in 8th grade. So my 9th grade science teacher, I don't remember. Okay. But if you think of him, throw him in there. Excellent nuggets. Thank you. And excellent. See, there's that word. Excellent. Got in there, y'all. In the moment at the park. All right. Yeah, and that's where your creativity can come in. Thank you, Mr. Gaines. Thank you, Daphne. I appreciate that. And yes, to wherever I was talking about that. 55 LaSalle, the teacher were caring. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Richard. Yeah, the teachers were caring. But it's give and take. Just like I said, with that Boys and Girls Club, them kids weren't giving me a tough time. They were being kids. And so I understood because I used to be a kid, spoiler alert. And so I didn't decide that everything they did was against me. You know what? A lot of times we will give the bad kids the headline and we give the good kids the less than the subtitle. We talk about these damn kids and but you don't know what a kid has gone through to get to your space. We don't know what a kid has gone through to get to school, what type of neighborhood they had to walk through, the bullies they had to deal with. Remember back in our day, they didn't call it bullying. They called it being popular, so there's a lot of things that we learn and we twist in things. And that's why high praises to our parents as well. Those of you who are parents or parented children, but those of you who have still mentored because you've been a parent. Like I say, I love my effusive introduction as an uncle. It's really important to me. Okay. So teachers, let's give these teachers today credit for how caring they are. How many of them didn't know about Zoom when the pandemic hit? And then they bust their butt to learn it and find out new games that they can do to try to keep children's attention on the screen when their normal attention on the screen might be playing a video game. So, there's a different world, y'all, but we're in it. We're a part of the different world. Do not separate what's going on in your life. You are making a difference. So now make a conscious choice to make it a positive difference. Miss B and Hart's going to PS 76, and now she's taking us to her neighborhood. That's right. Everybody grew up somewhere different. All right. Zet, the nerve of the teacher to not let you get away with murder. Right. Right. Think about that. We were trying to get away with murder. And so some teachers put us in check. Miss Jackson was one of those mentioned earlier. Yeah. And so back then we didn't like it. But the nerve of them. Oh, gotta love it. Facts. Yes. Thank you. Loving y'all. Yeah, loving y'all. True indeed. Entertainment and speakers of virtual fundraiser in May. There's the E. There's the Betahoff. Entertaining speakers. Yes. All right. Look at it trying to drop a little hint on me. I'm going to catch that hint too. All right. Miss Tingling. Oh, we're going to give her 2 shout outs. So did I go back on this thing? No. Oh, Miss Tingling. But you said it was a man, Victor. See now them typos. Now you really miss. Look my heart, the class to my house in Grant for my father. Oh, okay. She always really Miss Tingling. You one of the rare ones. Oh boy, if she see this, let him give her that shout out because I had her in 8th grade and she gave me fits, and most of my class we didn't like her. So that's just the way it goes. Okay, who's the swimming teacher at 125? Older white guy, Leffler. Can't remember his name. Okay, somebody might come up with it, but yeah, and that was interesting because remember when we were young, boys took swimming, girls took home ec, and so that was interesting. Retired from the classroom, but still teach. Thank you, Daphne. Right, because you never really get to retire from it. It's just like parents. Is it ever not Mother's Day? Is it ever not Father's Day? Is it ever not Valentine's Day? We got Valentine's weekend coming up. Y'all know on Friday I got a broadcast at 11 o'clock called Gift Friday. I'm going to have a little Valentine's notice to that. But I don't do the interactive on Friday. So this is the one where I'm running my mouth to all of your posts. Come on and say it. Thank God for Microsoft Teams. Yeah. So you have to learn things so that you can upgrade your consciousness so that you can reach others. All right. And so, Alyssa, you were from the Bronx? I didn't realize that. Okay, good. Mr. Manley, yes. Was he the science teacher? Was Manley a science teacher probably in 9th grade? And then he became the vice principal and then he became the principal. Okay. Oh, and Vic, I didn't see this all the way down there. And I had even said Miss Tingling's name said, but again, you know what, Vic, let me also go back and say, see, everybody's experience wasn't the same. My experience with Miss Tingling was not pleasant. Vic had a good one. And look at that blessing of her. When his father died, she brought the lesson to him. See, I didn't know that. So, so even sometimes you have to look back in retrospect. And like I said, I'm not talking about regret, but I'm talking about retrospect. Look at some things that impacted the way your life was. Oh, Mr. Manley taught Russian. Okay. I know I never had him as a teacher. Well, I guess that's why. All right. So let's come on and bring it down. Let's bring it down. All right. Okay. And that is, this is what I say. Let me see where I got that. Okay. I closed out my message to the kids by saying to y'all, had I had kids or been married, I may not have had the time to invest in what I did with the kids. Because, by the way, I was a board member at the Boys and Girls Club. My job, my reason for being there was supposed to be just to raise money to help to keep the club in action, not to support the programs. But I decided, no, let me also do a public speaking class with them. And so, you got to go beyond it sometimes. But there were times where, now there also, I'm talking about not regret, but retroactive. There were times I wish I had stayed in and done college in one setting. See, I dropped out of college after only 3 semesters in December 1974, but I started working as a messenger at the Wall Street Journal in January 1975. And I would enter and re-enter college 4 times before finally graduated in 2003. I got plenty of examples that I can look back, Shirley Caesar, look back over my life, but I'm not going to go to them all. But I'm saying that you think back on some of the things, because what I prefer to realize is that my life is not a do-over where I get to reset the clock and see how things would have turned out if I had gone left instead of right. I consider that my life is a move over where I get to retrace my steps to make the footing stronger for the next one. So I've learned to live where I am, how I am, and who I am with what I am when I am. And I know that's a mouthful, but who said it first? God, when he said, I am, has sent me to you in Exodus 3:14. So, so that's the thing, I know that the plagues, the trials and tribulations that people sent into my life are all part of the turbulence to my guarantee from God, and that is that my life is representative of his excellent will. Someone else will tell the story and suppose the outcomes of the past that I took, and ignored. See, my purpose is to give them the enlightening introduction. For me to control what that introduction looks like, I have to look inside my heart, right, Deb? Who am I? I have to look inside my heart and be comfortable with who I am. I can only do that by openly sharing my message to energize someone else to believe in themselves long enough to believe that everybody needs you to be who you are. So choose to redirect rather than regret your life. The fact that you're still here proves that you can. And so I've chosen to end this glue before I come back to your comments. I'm going to end the glue with the scripture that actually started me thinking about today's message. And it's from Philippians 3:13-14. It says, "No, dear friends, I am still not all I should be, but I am focusing all my energies on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. I strain to reach the end of the race and receive the prize for which God, through Christ Jesus, is calling us up to heaven." Okay? So that's what made me start this message and get my ease together, recognizing that I'm still not all that I should be, but I'm not regretting that. I'm recognizing that I have to let go of remember, y'all know I talk about focus on your track record rather than your lack record. The lack record says, I don't have what it takes. The track record says, I did it even without all that I didn't have. So trust your track record and believe in yourself, and know that if you got some F words, drop them in the thread. Okay, and I will make every effort to find a way to help you co-author the message with me next week. And I want you to know, everybody, have a good moment. Like I said to Vic, have a good moment and then repeat the dosage. Repeat the dosage and wear your mask. Certainly thank you for watching, engaging, and sharing Glue. I'm going to go back to your comments, but I want to knock that out in case somebody needed to jump off, because I know we've gone a little longer than normal, and I'll answer your things in the comment, but that's the message that I wanted to deliver from what I prepared. And now, that's what makes it all a big difference to us. So what you say, Vic brought the whole glass. She brought the glass to I thought you said class. Oh, I think there's your oh, there it is. She brought the class to the building. Okay. All right. And yes, indeed. Okay. Everybody be safe and hang in there. Thank you. Amen. AMEN, a message that everyone needs, because we all need the message of faith, hope, and understanding and belief that it's going to happen. So Vic's word for next week is feel. Haas's is fantastic. Deb's is fiduciary. So now she want to get some money in the picture. And then Shango, my spiritual brother from Thursday nights, I'm in a men's ministry in Jacksonville, Florida. And that's our road messenger, Shango Wilson. So good to see you on board, and Zet family. So we got some F words that we'll get in. And even if you're watching the broadcast, if you've got a word that begins with the letter F and you want it to be in next week's message, get it into the thread, and I'll get it into next week's broadcast. Fantastic message. Did you say fantastic? See, you already using your F word there, Haas, right? Fantastic message. Be safe and stay alert, family. Zet's word. Man, all of the words are there, y'all. Make it work for yourself. God bless you. And again, thanks for watching, engaging, and then sharing God's love, which undoes everything. This is Sporty King, over and out. Ciao.